Mayang buntag, mayang hapon, mayang gabi, no matter where you are in the world. It is a pretty interesting day. And we have sound. There we go. I'm turning off sound. I never did figure out what I did yesterday to turn off the live chat, but I'm just going to be careful in that area. That Cindy is downstairs grabbing breakfast this morning and will be joining us as soon as she's done. Yeah, I'm having yet another live stream from the house today that some stuff came up, and now I'm kind of glad I did because we got Lazada packages this morning. And after we get a couple viewers here today, I'll actually open them online live and see what they are, because I'm not terribly sure. Actually, I can cheat. I have a Lazada app. There's an app for that. And so I can kind of hopefully get an idea of what just may have gotten delivered. Oh, I know what the second item is. Okay, very cool. I know what the big box is. We actually got two boxes. We got this one. And we got this one. And I got an idea what, I know what both of them are. I think I know what the big one is, but I'm not sure. I think I know what the big and small ones are, but I'm not terribly sure. So we're gonna find out. And I really need to do that. I need to make a video about ordering Lazada, Shopee, all that fun stuff, and the what I go through. That I got to start get back into doing the recorded and posted videos instead of just the live streams. It was never my intention for the live stream to take over and be a live streaming channel, but that's kind of what it's unintentionally wound up being, at least for the last month or so. And I got some pretty decent analytics back on the Chica update. There we go. And to where I was intending on getting something posted last night, and it just didn't happen. Friday, excuse me. Friday, I am going to try and edit and post a video about getting our laundry done. Laundry services here in the Philippines and what is done for laundry. I may get some video of the neighbors. They do laundry pretty much every day by hand. Mama and Papa do laundry when they're here. Cindy just isn't quite up to it at this point. At the condo, she did laundry by hand quite often. We had a washer there, so that made life way simpler for us. We thought about getting one here before we made the decision to go back to the States. They're about $1,000, but they're 50,000 pesos for a decent front load washer. The top loads you can get pretty inexpensively, but I've never seen any good reviews about those. That they more or less just go through the motions of washing your clothes. They don't do a terribly good job. The front load that we had was an outstanding, but yeah, like I said, they're 30 to 50,000 pesos, and they're kind of big, they're bulky, they're hard to use, So we thought about it and decided that's just way too much money to spend at this point, not knowing how long we're actually going to be here. And then, there we go. Lighting's a little bit better. Yeah, if I'm going to do this as a permanent thing, I need to get better at it. That's quite definitely true. And I've got the light setups and the microphone setups and all that good stuff. Speaking of which, yeah, the microphone, I haven't been able to figure out what's wrong with that. And I got to go through some intense diagnostics on that today. And it's kind of too bad because it worked really good over to the condo. And so I'm not sure what I did different, because I basically reverted back to the same exact setup I was using in the condo. And I've still got that horrible hum in it. So I'm going to have to wind up doing some diagnostics on that one and figuring that out too. And it's just an ongoing project every time I go through something. Our blogs that I've kind of gotten Cindy up to it. Hopefully we're going to start doing it a little bit more and just start giving written versions of kind of what this live stream is wound up being, just kind of a random thoughts and just opinions and what we're doing and how and why and all that fun stuff, and just a little bit more in depth and a little bit more vocal versus a video format of it. And that way I can take out all the us and get a lot better setup going. According to this, I'm down to 0 viewers. Yeah, I may be here by myself, but hey, it is what it is. Eventually I will get a little bit better audience, and eventually I'll start getting a little bit better routine going on this one and get back into doing things on a more regular basis. But I'm actually doing a blog post today. I've got the post written out, and I do them backwards from Cindy, that I'll write out what I'm thinking, what I want to say, and then I'll find images to go along with what I'm trying to say, and that to help illustrate what I'm trying to say. Cindy does just the opposite. That she'll take photos and put her memories of those or include them as she's writing. And you'll probably, assuming we can get this done, you will probably see that in our writing styles. Yeah, I've got one viewer back again, so I'm not sure. I don't know. And if there's nobody here, there's nobody here. I'll just carry on a conversation by myself. I'm pretty good at that. Yeah, when you come up, if you could bring coffee, that would be appreciated. It's kind of hard since my mug's up here. I guess you could bring the pot, and yeah, don't carry the hot water. Don't carry the hot water. We'll figure that one out. I can toss it down to you, I guess. Because actually I can hear my voice in the background downstairs on Cindy's phone. It's actually kind of cute. That as far as Lazada, we looked at when we first got here, we tried to do Lazada orders, we tried to do Shopee orders, and had a little bit of an issue that, as I've said repeatedly, we get a truly outstanding exchange rate on our credit card. And when I was here one other time, I did manage to get the credit card to work on Lazada and assumed that it would work on Shopee. And started looking around, and I bought a bunch of stuff from Shopee, and I fought and struggled, and couldn't get it to work on Shopee. Went over to Lazada, fought and struggled, and couldn't get it to work on Lazada. And I have no idea what finally happened, but the card was finally recognized. That one of the other huge benefits to the Capital One, at least, I don't know if it's just Capital One or if it's Capital One Venture in particular. I think it's just Capital One. That you can do that ENO, that it's a virtual assistant. And the benefit to that is you can create virtual cards through it. That they're linked to your regular card, but it's the only number that the vendor sees is just that virtual number. And that virtual number is only good for that particular website. So I was trying to get it to see a virtual number, and I thought that may have been part of it. And my sister-in-law came back and she showed me a help screen on Shopee that specifically says that Shopee does not accept foreign credit cards. You know, why that's the case, I don't know. But so that kind of discluded Shopee. And after putting in the COD order on Shopee and the experience that I had with it, I'm kind of glad it discluded Shopee. Of the two, I much prefer Lazada for a few reasons. And I've never had to return anything on Lazada yet. So that could be an experience from everything I'm hearing about returns. Good morning, Mr. David. How are you doing this morning? Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. My train of thought derails rather frequently. Hey, David, have you ever bought anything from Lazada? We're actually doing pretty well this morning. That I got up, I got cleaned. You ready for this? Oop. We'll have to take a little bit further step back. Still can't see it. I'm wearing shorts. In 7 months, that's the first day I've worn shorts. I'm not a shorts kind of guy. And if you caught a glimpse of my legs, you'll understand why I'm not a shorts kind of guy. Have you ever ordered either of those in the Philippines? That one I'm kind of curious about, because my only experience with eBay in the Philippines is 6 years ago now, 7 years ago now. I did order something off of eBay Philippines. I ordered a nice dress off of eBay Philippines and had it sent to Cindy at the condo that her and her brother was, her brother's condo where she was staying. And other than that one order, I have never went back to eBay Philippines. I know that they've got one out here, and I may need to look into that and see. Wish is another website that is kind of like Alibaba, AliExpress, and here over the next couple weeks, couple months, I may start exploring some of those and just have a couple of tries to see what they are, and just look at some other virtual shopping experiences here in the Philippines. Yes, hey, you guys that have been here for a while know my little fidget spinner. And that's basically AliExpress, Alibaba. That it is definitely cheap Chinese junk. Some of it's kind of cool and neat. Some of it, yeah, it's cheap Chinese junk. Back in Arizona, that I actually got into it for a while. That I'd get some of the cheap Chinese stuff that were fairly popular order. And I turn around and sell them on eBay. And I didn't do too badly with it. I made a fairly good profit on it, but I just didn't do enough volume to really make it worth it. And it wound up taking way more time and effort than the return on investment. A lot of stuff over uh, garage sales and such in the U.S. I would pick up and sell online. If Mama and Papa come back, come back with us and get green card and their work permit, the get legal to work. We'll probably do something like that with Papa. That let him start trying to do stuff like that and see how it is and help him. I've gotten a ton of stuff over the years on eBay from the US. US eBay site was definitely one of my more favorite places to be. Yeah, I'm gonna be distracted for a moment. Please bear with me. That I both sold and bought on eBay, and it was a really positive experience on both. There we go. I'm sending out the invites that I forgot to send out a while ago. I normally try to send these out before I start. But I just forgot this morning. And it just, my bad. I need to have this stuff ready to go before I do this, so I don't wind up doing this to everybody here. There we go. My apologies. That any of these online services are slow here in the Philippines. We ordered these a week ago, well, which isn't bad for Lazada, but I've had some take up to a month to get here. That's actually not too bad. Are they outside of New Zealand at all, or is that just strictly New Zealand? Because that actually sounds kind of neat. That you can do that a little bit, at least in the U.S. on eBay. That there's a payment method you can do on purchases over a certain dollar amount. That when they get to be a sizable amount, that you can break them up. But it's done through a credit company. I did it one time. There's a slight fee that goes with it. And as long as you make the payments, there's no interest, but there is a slight fee, a couple dollars. So, not too bad. If you don't make the payments on time, you can get hit with some horrid interest. Amazon in the US has the same deal or similar deal. And again, as long as you make the payments on time, it's not too bad. But if you miss payments, the interest is a killer. That it is way worse than normal credit cards, which are bad enough. Amazon seems to be the king in the U.S. Other retail entities are starting to get into it. I've gotten a couple things from Walmart. They're online, and it was an okay experience. Amazon has set a pretty high bar that any of them have to meet, and a lot of them are just kind of going with, it's cheaper and easier for them to use Amazon than it is for them to try and catch up to Amazon. And that's basically what happened with Apple computers. Is Apple computers actually came out a little bit before IBM. If it hadn't have been for the fact that it was IBM that decided to come out with personal computers, Apple would be the de facto standard. That none of the other ones were able to hold a candle to what Apple did. But IBM, because they were so big, were able to come back and make that makeup. But it cost IBM dearly doing it. Somebody is finally making their guest appearance.
Who is that?
I had to get my Leatherman to help with the opening of packages. Okay, I know what both of these are. I just don't know which one's which.
Okay.
I think this is mine and that's the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So which one do you want to open first?
Okay.
Okay. I'll actually open this one first because there we go. That way I can use this as a table. Yeah, that Lazada's pretty good about most things. But yeah, delivery time can suck. That especially, and this is something that I found out you need to be aware of. They're pretty upfront about it, but it's not terribly well on their sites. And again, when I make the video about Lazada and Shopee and such, that I'll take everybody through it and describe and show it. But if you make sure to order from the Philippines, the shipping isn't too bad. The shipping time isn't too bad. If you make the mistake and order from overseas, especially China, you're going to have a 20 to 30 day delivery time.
David Brown said, yes, if you don't pay on time, it costs you $10, and it's not you using it till you pay the balance.
Yeah, most of those in credit card companies, they're getting almost too liberal on who they give credit to anymore. But yeah, they try to cover their losses as best they can, which I can't hate them for. Now, we got this as a trolley cart for for our CR. You want white or black? Okay. And of course, it comes in parts. So it'll actually be kind of cool. And
Just assemble it later.
yeah, we'll assemble it later, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. And the box looks to be in pretty good shape, so I'm thinking it's gonna be okay. Now this one, I don't know if I can tip the camera down far enough. Yeah, again. My empty coffee cup.
You want coffee?
Huh?
Let me make you coffee.
You sure you don't need one downstairs?
That's an exercise.
I was gonna toss you the cup before you came up.
That's okay. That's an exercise.
Hey. All right. Yeah, I need to find a knife sharpener here in the Philippines. Down in the Carbon area, you see them on the street frequently. I'm not terribly sure I trust them with a nice Leatherman, but I really don't have a whole lot of choice. And I use my Leatherman way too much to let it be dull. And of course, 10 seconds after I put it away, I realize it's a leak. That's I'll use her chair. Now, this is something I got warned about bringing, and I kind of brought. But I didn't bring this part of it. And so I need to pick one up. And I did my shopping. I found some on Lazada and went down to Wilcon and City Hardware and found the price differences, and Lazada was considerably cheaper. So that's what we went with. Yeah, that probably wasn't good. But I got me a toolbox. Then I've always enjoyed working with cars and doing a lot of that back in the States, and have pretty extensive tool sets built up over the years. And I got warned about bringing tools that you can get most tools here in the Philippines. To get decent quality tools, it's fairly expensive. And the one thing that a mechanic friend of mine that I've made friends with here cautioned me about is if you like to have a decent toolbox, tool chest, you need to ship them. You need to bring them. You're not going to find them here. Oh, I like that. Yeah, this has actually got removable dividers in this tray. They're not really adjustable in the fact that you can move them around. You can only put them in and take them out. Within very limited, I guess you can move them around. Because the other thing I ordered that got canceled, and this is something that happens somewhat frequently on Lazada, is for whatever reason, they'll order it and take your money, and then a week later, they'll cancel it. They'll refund your money rather quickly, but now you're stuck with having to go back and reshop or reorder. We've had a couple of things that had that happen to us. But yeah, I think Cindy's gonna be sitting out here for a little bit. Yeah, it's got the removable tray, and I'm starting to build up some tools here. But the problem is they're just being thrown on a shelf. I didn't have a place to put them. And this will give me a place to put them so that I can get them when needed and keep them all in one place in one confined area. So I'm rather happy with that. And that was kind of my concern, is most of them flat out said they were small. And that was one of the reviews I got, is they were kind of small. And this has actually got side handles as well, molded into it, as well as a standard carrying handle. And I don't think you can see it. There we go. It's got the same style logo that you would expect to see Rubbermaid in. And it looks a lot like a Rubbermaid product. And so I'm wondering if it may not be from the same plant, the same molds that would make Rubbermaid, just not Rubbermaid. Because that is something you will see way frequently out here, is not only the cheap knockoffs, but also decent quality knockoffs that do not have the name brand. And because of that, yeah, David, that is very cute, and it is very sweet that Cindy, even in her condition, that she will still go out of her way to help. And that is awesome of her. And that's a huge part of why I love her so much. Hey, don't worry about being late, Daniel. We're always here, and you're never late here. Some people just happen to show up earlier than you. That's all. Good morning, Marky. How you doing this morning? So when you coming over to Cebu? We're finally starting to open up. My in-laws went to Manila, and there was no swab tests or anything else. Mr. Markey, it was a huge toolbox. And not a bad price. I got it off of Lazada that I was showing the other guys. It's got the screw bins on top. It's got 2 of the screw bins on top. The dividers are removable. And they're removable. So you can adjust them a little bit. It's actually got a removable tool tray. And fairly deep. Not quite as heavy as I'd like it. It does move, but you know, it's Lazada, and you kind of get what you pay for too. I did get the largest size that they had. That it's supposedly 24 inches. Without putting a ruler on it, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's quite 24. That's when we were staying down at Cindy's parents' house. Huh? It is. Nice one. When we were staying down at Cindy's parents' house, we almost ordered a small gas one for that exact reason, that the brownouts were getting pretty intense down in that area. Okay. That's hey Daniel, good. Good. You just got off work. That's always the best time of day. I thought really hard about sending over tool chests and stuff like that. The way things turned out, I'm glad I didn't. When we buy a house and get property, I am almost certainly going to unless I can find an alternative here.
Imperfect timing, you know.
There's a bunch of stuff that after we get settled in and going to, yeah, Daniel, that's why I try to do them at the timing I do, is that kind of makes it a reasonably possible for everybody to catch it in most locales, at least my most watched locales. Some places in Europe it would suck. It'd be like 1 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately, I don't have a whole lot of European viewers. And that's kind of where the morning live streams came in for me. If you've ever watched Tom and Ruth Philippines, there we go. They do the similar thing, except I think theirs was actually a little bit earlier in the day. That they do theirs a little bit earlier than we do. And that was a big thing. And I asked him one time, and that was part of the reason why he does it what he does, is to try and catch viewers in his two main viewing locale, the U.S. Canada area and here in Philippines. So Marky, where are you going to order the generator from? That one I'm kind of curious about. Lazada, or are you going to go to one of the local stores? Wilcon has a couple of really decent ones. And if your brownouts last like ours do, that they're 10, 12-hour brownouts, the diesel would probably be a little bit better than the gas engine for it. That they handle lugging and idling like that way better than a gasoline engine does. Okay, I thought you were going to be coming over here to do that. Yeah, because you'd have to double check, but I don't think there's any major quarantine issues when you get here now. And Marky, you may want to take, if there's a City Hardware, or not City Hardware, if there's a Wilcon Depot over there somewhere, Bacola, there might be one that would still be on Negros. That wouldn't be too bad. And I've seen some in there that are look to be really good and reasonably priced that are diesel. Generators are that they're an engine, and so if you maintain them well and take care of them well, they can be pretty quiet. Put a decent muffler on one, and it can be pretty quiet. You get some that aren't maintained well and that are kind of stereotypical Filipino, and they can be smoky, noisy, and just generally obnoxious to run. Wow. 2 or 3 times a week? Yeah, that's, we'd have 1 or 2 a month, and that annoyed me. But the 1 or 2 a month we would have were like 12, 14 hours long.
Sometimes if it's heavy rain, unexpected, like in the night.
There was a couple times, yeah, late at night that we had one. Are there mosquitoes up here?
Yeah, kind of.
See, this is the other reason why I don't wear shorts. And from having seen your property, that may not be a bad idea. It is just build a little generator house off to the side, that way you can put a more permanent setup to it, and it wouldn't be that bad. Wouldn't be that terribly difficult to do. Just do a block knee wall with a amakan for the rest of it, and that'll shelter it well enough. You can even just do a thatched roof on it, or just an expensive tin one. But yeah, that if we build property here, I've been thinking really hard about getting one for that reason, or doing what Tom and Ruth did, is doing a solar backup that will carry you through most of it. That so you ought to look, Marky, you ought to looked at coming over here to Cebu province. That there's a lot of the smaller towns that are great to live in like that. When Cindy and I decide where we're going to settle, there's a really good chance that that's probably going to be where we're at. Although we're still going to look at some of the other towns. That's something we've talked about. Kind of the penciled in plans that we've got for long range at this point. It is coming back for a month or two every year, and stopping in Sabunga, picking up Sunshine, and then heading somewhere and go to Dumaguete for a couple months, and be there as a resident, not a visitor. And that way, it'll let us check out a few different places around the Visayas. We're gonna stay in Visayas region. That much we do now. And go to Bacolod for one of the trips. Go to the Moab for one of the trips, and just rent a place for a month or two, and see what it feels like to live there. Wow. That's actually first world problems. Does New Zealand have a bad power grid? Yes. Cebu, because of being nestled in between Leyte, Mindanao, Bohol,
Other islands.
so many other islands. Not only are we not really on the main path, they've got to make it over a fair amount of land before they get to Cebu province. Not saying that they don't, they do, and we definitely get some of the outer bands. Yeah, and that's true, because the northern parts like Malahuasca, down Batayan, that they get a little bit more than Oslo and Alcoy and those places do. Yeah, Marky, you've got the wireless internet. You don't have actual fiber internet coming in now, correct? Because most of Cebu, well, all of Cebu City, you can get the actual fiber pretty much anywhere in Cebu City.
As long as it's highway, national highway.
And pretty much anywhere on Cebu province, as long as you're right tight to the national highway, you can get the actual fiber internet. The drawback is the further away you get, that it all comes from Cebu, and so they often run just a single line. And we've got fiber internet for the place down in Sabunga, but there's been repeated times something in Minglanilla, a couple cities away, in between Sabunga and Cebu City, They shut down the internet for a couple of days.
Set up the new internet provider called Ghetto.
Yeah,
That's my,
you don't.
uh-uh.
Is that his woman?
I don't know, but it's just a SIM card.
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna try that. I don't know.
Uh, yeah, I've heard some interesting things, and I don't know. That one will have to be. That one will have to be an experiment one of these days, I guess. Now, does your Philippine phone have dual SIM?
Maybe they don't try it.
We got a friend of ours down in San Fernando.
Yeah.
San Fernando. But he's in the same situation. There's a school right in front of him that has high-speed internet, but the line won't go back past the school for some reason, or doesn't go back past the school, and so they won't carry it the extra 60, 80 yards to the residents back there, so he can't get it. And his house is pretty well boxed in right close to the, it's very close to the beach. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But his house is pretty well boxed in, and he doesn't get garbage for internet at his house. So yeah, it's internet in the Philippines is an interesting experience.
I like that word.
But it's coming up. It's coming way up. It is coming way up. We haven't been to a hotel the last couple trips that didn't have decent internet. See, Marky, you need to get that Barco. That way you can go over and visit. Don't even have to worry about quarantine. Just got to dodge the Philippine Coast Guard. Make a beach landing. Nobody will know the difference. Go shopping. Do what you need to. That yeah, and that's kind of common here. That you can see the internet, but you can't get the connection to it.
Oh, that's cool. Fiberglass door.
That would kind of be a neat project to see about doing. Take the plywood, the flexible stuff, and then reinforce it with reinforced waterproof fiberglass. That's her brother just had a boat built, and I'm thinking about going down and seeing if he'd be willing to help me with a video, and him and Cindy, that way you two could talk, and then when we're done, we could interpret it and kind of go with his experience having a boat built. And that might be kind of a cool thing to do, because I know I've got guys like Marky and Daniel deliver it close to the water. That might be something kind of cool to do.
Yeah.
That they may have a way to hang out and do it and store it. Because that's the one drawback to the outrigger style boats that they've got here, is it's not something you can pick up and throw on a boat trailer and take back with you. I'm sure with enough ingenuity and time and thought, you could figure out a way to make the outriggers detachable or foldable somehow.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple ideas in my head that you can do it, because I've seen it done on the sailing cats that they do a lot on the lakes. Yeah, that some of those are in some of those internet setups are insane. You got to do uh, North Star, Sunstar, something like that. That there was a provider that was coming, but it was going to be like 7,000 pesos a month. It was going to be a fairly pricey monthly fee. It was satellite internet, so pretty much anywhere. And then it was going to be like a $500 equipment fee to start. I don't. Does Ball have a ferry?
Almost. I don't know. Maybe. Ask Daniel.
Because the ferry goes to like Toledo or something like that, doesn't it? Which isn't terribly far away. I don't know. That and again, as long as they're still under lockdown and all that silliness, that a lot of the ferries aren't even running.
You should go together with Marky Daddy. He's a diver, and you're a diver too.
Oh, very cool. When's the last time you've been diving, Mark? That I'm trying to get organized a dive, and the last couple it just hasn't came off. But I had all my gear serviced, batteries replaced, and all that fun stuff, and was going to go for a dive, and then something happened, and was going to go for a dive a second time, and something happened. Was going to try next week, and he's busy. So we're going to try in 2 weeks, but in 2 weeks, hopefully we're going to be up to Bantayan Island. So I may be in Bantayan before I actually do manage to get the dive. That they do have one dive site one dive shop out of Bantayan at this point. And Cindy obviously can't be dive. Cindy's certified as well. That we have done a dive here in one or two. We've done 2 scuba dives here in the Philippines, and we're hoping to go for others. And then somebody found out they're forbidden from diving for the next 9 months.
Correction, 4 months to go.
Oh, 4. Well, when you found out it was about 8 months, so.
Wow, time flies so quickly. Okay, now 3 months and a half.
There you go.
Because I'm planning 2 weeks. Oh, God.
And our little pumpkin's going to make her grand appearance.
And then we will be diving for kids.
That's hopefully we can get in a dive or two before we leave. Very cool. Marky does some really cool videos that I ran across him when I was doing a lot of research on Dumaguete area. That he spent his first few years here in Dumaguete. That you might want to look into it. That getting over to Cebu isn't as bad as it used to be. That it's improving a lot, and you might be able to grab a ferry
For locals, yeah.
from
Not international.
yeah, for domestic travel, it's opening way up. You might want to grab a ferry or see about what it would take to get a ferry over here. Several of the railroads are running. Her brother just recently came back from CDO by ferry, and you may want to check it out. It might be easier to do than you think.
And Mama and Papa, my brother, fly to Manila, and yeah, there's no swab test.
Yeah, even in Manila, the Mama and Papa didn't have any swab tests to get in there or anything else, and they're technically visitors if they're not. Yeah. They've got a reason for being there to help take care of her brother's condo after his fiance, girlfriend goes to the States. But I don't know if that would have been a legitimate reason to go. I think they're technically visitors.
They
But-
just get fill up the QR code like you normally did, like a survey, and then provide a booking ticket. And that's it.
Enjoy your day, David, and definitely been good here. And I really appreciate all your support you give this channel. That is very cool. And tell your wife hi from me too, and Cindy.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't think you were in Dumagetti for 3.5 years. That have you been back to the States since you got here? That yeah, you knew that we were kind of that we're basically planning on going back for a little bit. I know I'll answer partly for him. I know he's been to Valencia because he's had some videos from up in there that he enjoys riding his bike out all over, and he's real active on the bike. Something I need to get off my butt and start doing.
You can go and get on the bike later.
And
Go to the scuba diving shop.
You still want to go to 131? Okay. And Cindy is a trooper in a ton of areas, but yeah, she does. She gets real tired real quickly.
I got exhausted easily, especially the heat.
Yeah, the heat is real hard on her, and that's part of what we were going to do is run down to 138 Mall today and check out some.
I might go to Ayala. It's what
And I'm fine with that.
the Japan thingy.
And the price difference you're going to get between
It's not bad.
is not worth it. But I noticed that it's actually been just about an hour, and it is 10 o'clock. But Daniel, go back and watch some of his older videos. Yeah, I know he's actually got a few. I think he's got a couple of moto vlogs going from Dumagetti to Valencia.
Yeah.
But yeah, about a year ago, he moved up to
Himalalud.
Himalalud. My Visayan teacher. That I guess his wife's family is in that area, and that they had an opportunity to buy some land fairly inexpensively, right close to or part of, and he's done a few videos on it, and they're building a small house there, and it's really cool. But yeah, you want to go to Ayala?
We can't.
Okay.
I'm okay with it all.
I got a positive for going to Ayala, so before the opportunity passes, we're gonna say we appreciate everybody that shows up with us one. And Marky, I'll start including you. That normally I try to send out Facebook invites in the morning to let people know that I'm either on or going to be heading over to doing a walking live stream. But I'll start including you on that one as well. I think you like our page as well as the personal account. So I will figure out a way to send one to you. But for today, mabuhay.